Do you know that collections account covers 40% of credit repair disputes, but collections account only accounts for about 30% of accounts on credit reports? There's a huge problem that exists in collections account. In this video, I want to discuss some basic facts about collections account that you need to understand and know in order to dispute your collections account. I want to specifically work out in a more detailed way the difference between debt validation and debt verification, to let you know some of the games that are being played by original creditors and debt collectors, so you don't give in very easily off the top when you have a collections account. Welcome back to Credit. Alright, so collections account is a huge problem within the credit reporting space. And debt collectors, especially the ones that are third-party debt collectors, they are more abusive in their approach to how they deal with collections than an original creditor, because all the debt collector wants is to collect their money that they have spent in buying the debt. Debt buying is a very huge business and a very huge industry. But if you understand how the debt buying works, you'll be able to do more damage in deleting collections from your credit report. Now, when these debt buyers purchase your account, or the original creditor of the account, and it becomes a collections account, and you might outsource it to a third party to collect for them. Once they outsource it to a third party to collect for them, that collection falls now under the FDCPA, Fair Debt Collections Practice Act. Once they outsource the debt to a third party to collect the debt on their behalf, now that third party, once they're using a separate name from the original creditor, they become classified as a collector, right? Even if it's the original creditor that is trying to collect, unless they are under common ownership as the original creditor. Once it's an independent entity, they fall under the provisions of the Fair Debt Collections Practice Act. As a result of that, it is necessary that you understand your rights that you have in dealing with collection. In my previous video on collections, I cover what must happen before they put a collections account on your credit report. So you can go and listen to that video, and I'll walk you through how to deal with them when they try and do that, and if they have done it. Now, I want to talk to you about the verification process and the validation process. Once the collector contacts you, they must provide you with certain information. Within the first 30 days, they are not supposed to put your information on your credit report. There are certain things that must happen before they put that on your credit report, but they don't follow this sort of thing a lot of times. What must happen is that when they first contact you, whether they are contacting you, they must contact you in writing. But the medium through which they contact you, it can be by electronic medium through email, right? But I would not communicate with a debt collector through email. I would stick to them sending me stuff in the mail. Once they send you in the mail, the first thing that they must do, and if the collections account doesn't have this, that is grounds for you to get it deleted. They must state who is the original creditor. If the debt is charged off, they must have that information when they're reporting it, the first date of delinquency, right? When they contact you, they must tell you who the original creditor is, and if the original creditor is not on it, then that's grounds for you to get it deleted. So you look out for that information. They must tell you the amount of money that is owed. They must give you a breakdown of how they come by the total amount of money. How much is owed, how much of it is interest, If there is fees that arise, what are the fees, and so on and so forth. The debt collector cannot add their fees to the collections of the account if the agreement from which the debt arises that causes you to be obligated does not give them the right in that agreement where they can charge fees. Once that is not the case, the debt collector cannot add any fees. And that's why it's important for you to understand the agreement that governs whether it's a credit card or it's a personal loan or anything else, and understand what can be charged and what cannot be charged. Once they do that, if they add fees, it's one, a violation of truth and lending. Two, it's a violation of the Fair Debt and Collection Practice Act. It falls under deceptive acts. So the section that deal with deceptive acts, they have to give you the exact amount of money that you owe. And so in the first communication, they must tell you that, and they must tell you that you have a right to get validation of the debt. Sometimes they will send a statement or something like that to you. Don't fly for that. Why you must not fly for that? A lot of times when these debt collectors purchase these accounts, they don't have certain amount of information that comes with it. I cover this. Just listen to all of the previous collections videos that I cover, and you will hear me lay out some of these things and why some of that information they don't have. So once they send you that, you ask them for validation of debt, they're supposed to send you. But what these guys are doing that the regular consumer don't know, they will send back to you the information, and if they have a boilerplate statement or something like that, they will send back to you that statement, which is not enough to establish that you owe the debt. And what they will do with that is say, yes, that is what you owe, and this is verification of the debt. No, that's not enough. So the validation process must have the information that I just gave to you, right? And they must provide you with certain documentation after the fact if you request it. This is where it falls now into verification, right? So once it falls into verification, you are entitled to getting a certain amount of information, and a lot of times they cannot produce this information because when they have purchased the debt, especially if they are junk debt buyers where they are buying the debt from somebody else that have bought it from somebody else, a lot of times there's no paperwork to support it. They just have the most basic information that qualifies the validation section of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, which is the name of the original credit, the amount owed, the breakdown of the owing, and so on and so forth. And they will pass that up on you. When you send it to them, all they will do, look in their computer a lot of the time, and basically send back to you and tell you that they verify and validated it. That's not enough. Ask them to present to you the documentation that they have of the alleged debt. A lot of time they won't have it. The credit bureau, a lot of time, when you do the dispute of the collections, all they do is ask the furnisher of the data, which is either the original creditor or the debt buyer. And the debt buyer will match what they have in their system. And the credit bureau might ask them, give me the name, give me the address, give me the amount, give me the social or something like that, if they do have a social. And they might send back that information, and a lot of times they don't even have your social. And the bureau will tell you that it's verified, but you gotta press the bureau how they come by that conclusion and press the creditor. Once they can't show you how they verify, that's grounds for you to get it deleted. Now, when they are verifying the account, I just give you the validation information. As I said, verification sometimes is used interchangeably for validation, but there's slight nuances of difference, even though the word in its root to verify means to show to be true, to validate is to show to be true as well. But there are different things that is done when you're dealing with a collections account. Some of the things can be asked are in the validation process, but it becomes verification once you request that. Once you ask for verification, they must present to you documentations that show that the debt is yours, not the little digital version that they get when they purchase the debt, but show account statement, show application, show your signature, show promissory note, all of these kind of things. They must present one form or several forms to tell you that this is why we know it's linked to you. But you know, a lot of time what happens? They don't do that. They don't do that. They just give you the copy of a one statement or two statement, or tell you that the original creditor say that's what you owe. That's not verification. Once they don't do that, then you have the fight now to get them to delete off their account because they cannot verify. And once the account cannot be verified, it must be deleted. Period. It doesn't matter whether the debt is true or not. Once it cannot be verified, it must be deleted from your credit report. And it must present to you those kind of information in order to verify the debt. So don't let them just tell you that the original creditor say that what you owe. Push them to show you what is the documentation. And this can be a collection that is in an original creditor too. How you deal with the original creditor, a lot of times the original creditor can't verify the information as well, because they have policies that get rid of certain account level documentation and paper trail. Once it gets to a certain point in their system, they get rid of it. So sometimes if you ask the original creditor to verify the collection, they can't, because they have long got to read up the information and just have a digital version of certain basic information about the account. And that's how you get them to verify it as well. To verify it as well, you request it. And once they can produce it, then that's how you get them to delete it. So that's how you deal with a collections account. Let me run back by your overview as we wrap up. The validation process, once they contact you, the collector, to collect the debt, they must tell you that you have a right to seek for validation. They must tell you that in their notice. And they will tell you that if you don't respond after 30 days, they will assume the debt to be true. It doesn't mean that the debt is true. So once the collector writes you, you must answer them. Don't ignore them. Answer them, ask for validation. Once they send you anything, ask for verification after that. And a lot of times they won't be able to verify it. Sometimes they might be, but 99%, let me not say 99, but it's very highly probable that they won't be able to likely to verify or produce the documentation that is required in order to verify it. And once they can't do that, the account automatically from the FCRA must be deleted. It must be deleted. And the same thing, you press the credit bureaus, because the credit bureau have an independent responsibility to do their own reasonable investigation once you dispute the information. And if you are sending documentation, if you're sending documentation, then you push that and try and get it deleted. I'm going to cover the reasonable investigation in another video, and certain things that you need to ask credit bureau in order to make sure that they are not just telling you what the furnisher is saying and then keep the account on because they're biased towards pressure. So that is it for verification and validation after that, and that's how you get it deleted. Peace.